Hey everyone, welcome to our Friday the 13th episode. We're going to talk a little bit about some common superstitions today, and then we'll throw out some good ERP ideas for anybody daring enough to challenge some of their anxiety and OCD symptoms with based on some of these superstitions. So, Danielle, I'm going to kick it over to you if you want to start and give us our first superstition of the day.
All right. So the number 13. So the number 13 comes with all kinds of bad luck associations, right? And that can include saying it, writing it. If you've ever been in certain buildings, sometimes there just won't even be a 13th floor. It'll go 12, 14. Same things with hotels, right? It'll go, to 11, 215. So it just skips over the 13th room altogether because of that bad luck association with the number 13.
Yeah, and it's interesting that I think when I was younger, I didn't have a concern around 13 until I noticed that the 13 was absent in the elevator.
Yeah.
Then I
It
was like,
almost makes it like worry you a little more. You're like, oh,
then it's a little suspicious. So, yeah, it's interesting how a lot of places omit the number 13, but we will keep saying it and writing it and using it because we like to challenge anxiety and fears here. So, that's a great one. Really good example. Another common one is breaking a mirror, which is also something I did when I was younger. And I
broke
was,
mirrors.
yeah, not intentionally, very much on accident, but yeah, I definitely was concerned about the 7 years of bad luck, which is very, very, very attached to this superstition and belief that somehow it's going to create 7 years of bad luck in your life. And this actually stems from the belief that the mirror itself reflects a person's soul and that
Mm,
breaking it damages the soul. So that's a little like underlying tidbit there that
mm.
makes it a little worse.
Yeah, super interesting. Yep. Spilling salt is another superstition. So there's bad luck associated with spilling salt unless you're throwing the salt over your left shoulder, which if I remember from movies like Hocus Pocus and stuff, like, it's okay because that's gonna like ward off like the bad stuff, and like drawing the salt circle is okay, but spilling it is bad luck.
One of my favorite movies, by the way. Maybe we'll do a fun ERP OCD themed video around Halloween too. That's
Yes,
good. Cool.
definitely.
Walking under a ladder is another one. So this usually symbolizes breaking what they call like a sacred triangle that's formed by the ladder, which they believe, and when I say they, I really don't know who I'm referring to, just people who created these different cultures, etc., religious groups. But they believe that this could anger spirits or cause some sort of misfortune in your life. So people
Mm.
often avoid walking under the ladders. I've definitely seen that firsthand.
Yeah, I always thought it was a safety thing and never really associated with like a bad luck spirits kind of thing, but yeah, I sure.
I wonder if it started that way. Maybe it
Maybe.
started as a safety thing and then someone decided to attach some sort of meaning to that, which we know is very common with anxiety and OCD as we talk about. So who knows? Maybe it came from a good place and then it turned a little more sinister.
Yeah, maybe. Yep. Stepping on a crack is another one, right? I don't know about you, but when I just remember being like a school child, right? And like kind of walking to the bus stop and you'd hear the like, don't step on a crack or you'll break your mama's back. So very much in line with like, stepping on cracks is bad and it can bring harm to family members. And I've even seen this when I've worked with people who have anxiety or OCD, right? They're like, it can be like a jinxy thing that they'll do, like, oh yeah, I can't step on cracks because, break my mama's back or cause harm in some way.
Yeah, it's a good time to kind of plug in here as we talk about things like this, especially in a lighthearted way. We also very much respect and honor the debilitating nature that some of these things can play a role in people's lives. So just know that we like to bring humor to things sometimes, but we also like to educate and make sure that we're taking it seriously simultaneously. But yeah, very interesting and also a common OCD symptom when we
Hmm.
talk about that. This is another one that I actually haven't heard of prior
Yeah.
to us reviewing some of these together. So, dropping a fork or a knife. And apparently this could be seen as like a bad omen or even create bad luck or cause arguments between you and people that you care about.
Yeah, I hadn't heard of that one either. Opening an umbrella indoors, I think, is another one that people commonly can hear about, and it's believed that it invites bad luck, possibly because it was thought to offend the spirits in the home.
Interesting. I'd be curious more on the origins of that
Like,
one. I might
so
be.
why would opening an umbrella inside agitate the spirits? Yeah.
Yeah, I'll do some deeper digging on that one because now I'm just curious. This is probably one that many people have heard, crossing paths with a black cat.
Mm.
So the black cats are believed to be omens of bad luck, especially if one walks in front of you or crosses your path. And I've definitely had that happen to me. And it's funny, you remember those things because you know the superstition. So I know I've crossed paths with a black cat many times in my life, and who knows if any bad luck came from it. Can't
Yeah.
be certain.
That one's a little bit of a tongue twister.
Yeah.
The next one is the number 666. So I'm sure people have maybe heard about that in some way, shape, or form, and it's dating back to Christian beliefs that the number 666 is the number of the beast from the book of Revelations, right? And anything associated with that number is thought to bring about bad luck or, like just, you know, it's seen as the sign of the devil, right? So probably not good things associated with it.
Yeah, saying it out loud, using it with intention, right? Or
Mm-hmm.
even writing it down. Like there's this fear of like manifesting something dark and evil in life
Mm-hmm.
as a result. So that's definitely a common one for sure. And then this one is something that has been in my family personally. I don't even know who introduced it initially in my family, but I've been doing this ever since I was a kid, which is making sure you hold your breath when you walk by a graveyard. Some people believe that if you don't, then it can cause the spirits to enter your body, take over you, possess you. Um, it's funny. It's so built into my family. I don't even know what we call it. I don't want to call it a cultural thing because I don't think it is for us, but it's just been kind of done so many times ever since I was little that I still catch myself doing that, like subconsciously sometimes when I
Mm-hmm.
pass graveyards. I'm like, please take a deep breath in. Like, please don't keep practicing this. This is not something that you should keep reinforcing for yourself. But yeah, very fascinating.
Yeah, so the graveyard one, oddly enough, like I hadn't heard about, but I remember growing up when you would see like a hearse, you were supposed to like hold your breath so that way the person who passed away, like they didn't get up in you. They didn't, their soul didn't, or their spirit didn't enter your body. So similar idea, just a little different, I guess.
Similar idea for sure. I didn't know that about the hearse thing, but now my brain will probably think of it now that you said it the next time I see that out on the road. So
Yeah, you're welcome.
thanks so much. Just what I need, another superstition in my life.
So we've kind of talked through these common superstitions that tend to be present, and these can definitely play out, and OCD can pick on these things or other jinxy types of thoughts or behaviors. So let's talk about some ideas, some ERP ideas that could be done to challenge some of these superstitions in honor of Friday the 13th.
Well, I'm so glad you said that, Danielle, because I just so happen to have some salt on my desk. And I believe you said if I spill this and don't toss it over my shoulder, that maybe something bad will happen. So we'll see. That's a good ERP idea
Mhm.
that we can test out for sure.
Definitely. That was a great one. I think we also said something about opening an umbrella inside, angering spirits. So bring on the spirits.
I wonder if it matters the type of umbrella. Like, will the spirits be pissed off about the unicorn
The
more or
ringing.
less?
Right.
We will see. Another one was dropping a knife
Or a fork.
and can just push the limits on this and see if we drop those on the floor, what will happen and come to be, and challenge some of these superstitions that have existed for a very long time. So
Yeah,
can't be certain if we just manifested some bad luck into our lives, but we'll keep you guys posted.
we'll keep you posted if things just start going really horribly for us. I
Yeah.
think another one had to do with this. Can you see it?
Oh, yeah, now I can. Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I'll just read that out loud. 666. Yeah, we'll see if anything bad comes from that as well. So,
What could be maybe like one or two more that people could try to do to challenge that? If we think about maybe like things I could write or wish or do, like what else could we have people to do to challenge some of these superstitions or like jinxy kind of things?
yeah, so an exposure that I've had some clients of my own in the past do is write down on a sheet of paper that something bad is going to happen. The more specific, the more challenging it's going to be. So if you start slow and gradually build up, it can be a generic statement about something bad is going to happen today because I wrote this down, all the way up to my grandma is going to fall down the stairs today because I'm writing this down and she might break her neck and it could be all my fault. So we can make those intense or a little bit more mild, but writing down, manifesting things, I'll say manifesting things, that is a great exposure challenge for people to do who are trying to push back on their symptoms a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. So you can wish for like harm to others, harm to self, just kind of bad things in general, right? Like I wish that the ceiling and the roof fall down on me right now, or I wish that when I'm driving I get into a car accident, right? Just wishing for unfortunate things.
Yep. And the reason that we do that again is because OCD is always looking for certainty and it's always wanting you to play its game. And when we start deciding that we're not going to play the game anymore and we're actually going to do the opposite, even though deep down we might feel really fearful about doing some of these things, after the fact, your brain starts to pick up on the notion that, hey, I just did that thing and like the catastrophic stuff didn't actually happen. So maybe OCD is not actually right. And the only way we can really long-term disprove OCD is by changing our behavior. Because the more I tell myself, it's not going to happen, it's not going to happen, or this thing isn't real, that's not helping me. It's actually just making me more anxious. So we have to disprove through our behaviors, not through our reassurance or our own thoughts.
Right, exactly. Well, we appreciate you guys tuning in to watch our spooky Friday the 13th special. And if you have any suggestions for what you'd like to see, feel free to drop it in the comments and we'll catch you guys next time.
Bye.